Hello everyone, my name is Soylamis. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do a head swap edit of this beautiful little girl that was crying. But before I do that, I noticed that mom has a stain on her shirt. So I'm going to select our healing brush, zoom in, and just get rid of that stain. All the family shots in this session, the younger little girl was crying. She was really cranky, so I decided to select an image from the individual shots that I took and carry it over and head swap it. So you're gonna select your selection tool, select the head, the hair, okay, hold down shift, go up top, select the mask. Go, your refine edge tool's gonna pop out and you're gonna do a refiner selection around the head. Just like that. Go new layer mask with a layer mask. New layer with a layer mask. Then you're gonna select your selection tool, click and drag to the image. You're gonna hit Command T to have control of that layer, and you're gonna reduce the size so she doesn't look like a bobblehead. So, and tilt it because her head is tilted in that image. That looks. Keep tilting it just to line it up a little bit. That looks pretty. Right about good. That looks good. If you guys are finding this tutorial helpful, make sure you like and subscribe. Then you're gonna go to your background, your original copy on the right hand side, and you're gonna hit Command J, create a new copy, and we're gonna be working on background copy number 2. This image, her head is tilted off to the side and it's overlapping, so I'm going to show you guys how to remove that. Remember, we're working on background copy number 2. You're going to select your clone stamp tool, hold down your option key on your keyboard, and start sampling from the area that you want to copy. And I'm going to remove, I know it looks weird, it looks like I'm removing her face, but remember, we're swapping heads here. I'm going to remove as much as possible so it doesn't overlap once I bring that layer that we just copied over. Remember, if you are an Apple user, you hit your option key, press down, and that is going to make a copy from the area that you want to pick up and clone. If you guys are finding this tutorial helpful, make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you have any questions, any feedback, drop them in the comment. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of mom's shirt. It's brown. And then I'm going to check that layer that I copied over, turn it on and off on the right hand side to see how it's looking. Then I'm going to go back to that background copy and continue to clone and paint all those areas that I need to copy. Ideally, when you go to a photo shoot, you want, all the smiley shots as possible, but real life, sometimes it doesn't happen. So I try to work with what I have to be able to make my client happy. This particular client really wanted a family shot, so I am trying to make it work. We're gonna clean up a little bit of the hair. I'm gonna raise the opacity of my brush all the way to 100. We're gonna start cleaning up. As you can see, I'm on that layer copy that I dragged over, and we're working on the mask with our brushes. The brush set to black to be able to remove and clean up as much as possible so it looks as realistic as possible. Sometimes I delete things and then zoom out and realize it doesn't look right. So if you are an Apple user, you hit your X key and you're able to swap back and forth between the white and black brush without having to go on the selection menu on the side. Okay, so now we're gonna clean up the neck. I'm gonna reduce the size of my brush using the left bracket key on the keyboard. That's how you reduce and increase the size. And I'm gonna bring back the shirt in that original copy. Clean up right around that area. Looks pretty good. And if you guys make an error, that's the best thing about working with a layer mask. You know, you can always flip-flop between the black brush and the white brush to be able to bring back or delete whatever it is that you're working on. So I'm going to lower the opacity of my brush because now I just want to blend in the neck. I don't want to remove everything, but I want to merge the bottom layer and the top layer without completely getting rid of the top layer. So this is a little bit more of a blending technique where you're kind of keeping both of those layers there. Hit Command T. I still don't like the lineup of the head, so I'm going to move it around just a little bit more so it doesn't look too off. And in most of when I'm editing, I'm constantly zooming in and out. There are some things that you miss when you're zoomed out, and there are some things that you miss when you're zoomed in. So I'm constantly going in and out of the image to be able to make it look as good as possible or as realistic as possible. I'm going to continue to play around with the positioning of the head because I still think that looks good. I'm going to go back to that masking layer. Again, the opacity is lowered. It's right around 40, 48. I'm going to increase it now to 100%, and I'm going to bring back some of her hair. Clean up mom's neck, a little bit of the bow from the top layer is showing. And then I'm going to increase the size of my brush and just clean up. There are some things that since you're working so close that you miss. So I usually like to increase the size of my brush and go around those areas and delete whatever doesn't belong there. Okay, as you can see the under layer, her chin is still showing, so I'm going to go back to that background copy number 2 and select my clone stamp tool. If you're an Apple user, hit Option to make a selection of the area, release the Option key, and paint. The majority of the chin is the one that's showing. So just continue to copy. If you guys are finding this tutorial helpful, I try to post at least a couple times a week. These are all free. It's my paying forward to starting photographers or just people who love the art and want to do it themselves. So I learned a lot from watching other YouTube tutorials as well when I first started. So now that I know how to maneuver around Photoshop, I think this is a nice way to give back. So as you can see right around the neck area as well, The underlayer showing, so I'm going to switch my brush to black, and I'm going to clean that up a little bit. That's lower the opacity on my brush to 30 and switch it to white so I could bring some of that shadowing back. Zoom out, let's see how that looks. Okay. Windows, action, go to your history. That's my before image. And that is the after. Again, before, after. And that's how I do a head swap. Thank you guys for watching.